is it. Where we are now, there is a wild goose chase on Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi. Kyagulanyi insists he's being hunted. The other day, security raided his residence and the wife narrated the ordeal. There are quite a number of sordid stories about arrests that have been conducted. The deputy presidents of the National Unity Platform remain incarcerated. Okay, one for Buganda remains incarcerated. Others, whereabouts remain unknown. Okay, in the midst of all this uncertainty, what is obtaining in politics? Joining me tonight is Honorable Odonga Otto, former Member of Parliament, Aru County, who suffered another defeat. Good to have you.
Thank you.
Council Benjamin Katana, the Treasurer for the National Unity Platform. Honorable Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, Minister for Information, ICT and National Guidance, together with Honorable Semuju Nganda, Member of Parliament, Kira Municipality, and Secretary General of the PFF. Good to have you all.
Thank you very much.
Honorable Chris, you've been all over media.
Yes.
I would imagine this has been a very hectic week for you, explaining to the nation quite a number of things. The Bobby Wine saga, his disappearance, and of course the situation around Colonel Dr. Chiza Besigye. For clarity, how is Besigye?
Okay, thank you very much, Samson, and good evening,
Simon.
Viewers. Simon, yes, Simon. I have been all over the media, as I was saying, because I am the Minister of Information for the government of Uganda, and I have a cardinal responsibility of informing the public regarding the goings-on, especially from the perspective of government. Dr. Kiza Besigye, as we all know, is on remand in Ruzira prison. And maybe what has been making the news were the statements made by his wife, Honorable Winnie Byanyima, that he was seriously sick and he was not getting medical attention. And I cross-checked with the authorities, both his doctors and the prison authorities. I'm even thinking of visiting him. But even I spoke to the authorities this evening, the medical authorities, because as medical doctors, we can share information. He had a bout of...
Share information about your clients.
As professional doctors. And what I can say now is that the small upset he had got...
Small?
Yes, mild upset. He has since recovered out of it, like I told the media, and is now up and about. And is even able to do exercise by walking around.
The wife says Besigye is ill, and you're here claiming Besigye is fine.
Yes, that's her statement. I am now giving you mine, that he has recovered from the minor ailment he had suffered, because he got a minor ailment. His personal doctor...
You said it was diarrhea.
His personal doctor came in and it was managed. It was managed. Actually, he went to a clinic of his choice and it was managed. He's back in Ruzira and is not in danger. He's not in danger, and that is authoritative. You can take it from me. Honorable Winnie Byanyima may say what she wants, but you see, in science, we say the eye sees what it knows.
Yeah, but
when you look at a patient, and I look at a patient, our interpretation
you've
is
not been to see Besigye. Byanyima has been to see her husband.
Oh, you see, if they put the bacteria in a microscope and say, you see there, you may see it, but you have nothing to tell me. But if I look there, I can say there is bacillus or there is this. I have shared reports, medical reports with the doctors. Although I have not physically gone there, I have seen reports, I have talked to the doctors, so I can authoritatively tell about his condition. So his condition, he is not worrying, he is not sick, he has recovered from the minor ailment, he has suffered. Let me also clarify, because Honorable Wanyima seems to have misunderstood what I said. When Dr. Besigye came to Luzira, he gave a list of the close relatives who should be contacted in the case of anything. Those to bring him food, clothing, and the other issues of welfare. Honorable Wanyima lives outside Uganda. So what I told the media was that the close relatives Besigye gave don't include her. But I think
she's not among the next of kin.
No, among the 3 people registered in Luzira as the close contacts to handle issues of welfare for Besigye. But I think for her, she misunderstood and brought an insinuation as if I was saying he's not a wife or what. No, that was not my point. My point is when Besigye falls sick, when he needs something, there are 3 people who were given, because they live here in Kampala, who are contacted.
How much explaining do you have to do about a person
I have to give
whose picture has been trending, looking very frail, and you're here saying he's okay? Don't you come off as indifferent or callous?
Unless if you want me to lie. You see, when I communicate to inform, not to please people. And to the best of my ability, I try to be as honest, as truthful as possible. Do you want me to come and say, Dr. Besigye is dying, simply because some of you will be happy? I cannot. I am a professional doctor. Nobody would want Besigye to die or fall sick. Yes or don't. I am a doctor. Politics aside, I am a human being. I don't wish Besigye bad. Why? He's my brother. By the way, my house in the village overlooks his. Politics aside, nobody wishes him bad. I have discussed his issue with the president myself. I can tell you what the president thinks if you want. And I have been on record that we sympathize with him. Nobody wishes him to be in the condition he's in. And my prayer, which I also said in the public, that he should get a fair and speedy trial so that his issue is concluded. But some of you argue as if I'm the one who arrested. Some of you argue as if I am the one to release him.
I need to bring in the Secretary General of PFF.
So that's a condition.
What's your take on this contradiction?
So he's not seriously sick as alleged. He's in a healthy condition as now. The minor ailment has
is Wanyima doing politics?
Well, it's up to her. I ask her.
Okay. Semuju.
See, when Nganda died, Parliament, and I think legitimately, asked Dr. Baryomunsi, Dr. Vitecherezo, I think Iriomoki and Dombo and others, to be part of a team investigating her death. Museveni was upset that Baryomunsi was one of those who were talking, I don't want to use maybe carelessly. And Museveni asked Baryomunsi, are you a pathologist? Are you a pathologist? The case of Besigye is a political case. No, that was Ozimu. That was Ozimu.
There was intercepted.
But they were on the same charge sheet.
I was A1. Dr. Ziva was A2.
Yeah.
You see, the sensitivity of Besigye's case, and that's why I think for now over a year, Museveni has spoken about Besigye, I think either 2 times or 3 times. The gentleman here, the good doctor, speaks for government. But he conducts himself now as if he's a spokesperson of Besigye's imprisonment, that he has a duty to be the one to speak about it. And this is the first time in my adult life seeing someone eager to discuss someone's health. Because health is a very sensitive but also a private matter. And that's why the prison that are keeping Besigye, you have not seen them speak the way Baryomunsi is speaking. In fact, he speaks as if he has a personal problem with Besigye. Like many NRM people. You see, if you speak against Besigye, it can even earn you a promotion. Because I don't know anyone Museveni hates in this country like Besigye. Maybe now you will be 4th Deputy Prime Minister when Museveni assembles the cabinet. I have not seen...
Not the Vice President. That's not the highest.
I don't think you are at a level where they will put you at the highest. You are still there. So you will need to speak about Besigye maybe daily, give a brief 2 times. So the issue of health, leave alone the jokes, the issue of health is a very serious matter. Even doctors, for the time I have been in journalism, you go to Morocco, they will never discuss the details of someone's health, the way Baryomunsi is doing.
Well, he spoke as a doctor. He came out in detail and said Besigye had diarrhea and it was money.
But he himself has told you that Besigye has a personal doctor. Why do you think he has a personal doctor? The reason you have a personal doctor, you want to be managed privately. But because Besigye is in your custody, so Baryomunsi is going to discuss everything about Besigye. He is abusing his office by forcefully accessing information about Besigye. Because why should... But you're not my doctor. Even if you taught it...
No, you can't school me.
It is just unethical.
You can't school me on matters of communication.
Has nothing to do... Has nothing to do with your profession.
It is unethical.
It is unethical for any medical doctor to discuss the ailment of a patient. It is unethical. It is unethical.
No,
and you're not doing so because you're a medical doctor.
It depends on many factors.
You see,
including the typological classification of the malady.
That's how you got. That's how you got. That's how you got. That's how you got arrested.
We are educated.
And Museveni was asking you, "Are you a pathologist?"
No.
Because even if you're a doctor, you cannot be qualified in each and every ailment in Uganda.
No.
Yes. Okay, can we put this in the context of
he has told
government communication?
He has told you Besigye has a personal doctor. Why do you think he has a personal doctor?
Confidentiality.
Why don't they just...
We can discuss the subject of medical ethics if you want.
No.
Yes.
You had your time. That's not the gist of our discussion today.
It's just fair. It's just fair.
Don't be and pretend you know medical communication.
I don't have to know. You are not authorized to speak about Besigye's health.
No, I can.
This is not your duty. You can go and speak about Moz.
This is the government
You are the one who is aching.
No.
That you will be the one speaking about Besigye's health. Were you appointed to do that?
Gentlemen, I want to bring...
I was speaking for government.
You see,
and I can tell you my communication was effective. That's why you are even discussing it.
But in a
so what are you trying to communicate to the country?
You know, what did you hear?
May have been effective, but inappropriate. It was very inappropriate.
People were saying, Dr. Besigye is critically sick, he's dying. And I was saying, no, I clarified.
Is it your role? Yes. I thought it's the prisons.
Prison is the department of government. And I am in charge of all government communicators. Actually, they communicate with my instructions.
So what is causing all the hula balloon?
There's nothing.
There is no hula balloon. I am just asking Baryomunsi. You are not the spokesperson of Besigye's health. You are a spokesperson of the family rule. Concentrate there. Speak about Museveni and his wife and children. Leave Besigye alone.
They want to tell me how to communicate.
I must tell you.
No,
even
you
when
can't.
you speak for government.
You can't. You cannot.
Thank you. I want us to move away from...
No, I need to because you gave Baryomunsi a lot of time.
Yes.
Okay, in a minute.
Saying nothing.
Yes.
You are not saying nothing.
You see, Besigye is a prisoner. Even the prison itself has procedures. That's why, even to take him to a facility, because of the sensitivity of the matter, they have taken him to a facility. He has told you a facility of his choice. He's got to be treated by doctors of his choice.
Because he's on remand.
But if they are collecting information about Besigye and they are vending it like Baryomunsi is doing, I don't know which sort of government is this one. That even the basic things you can't get them right. That you go and collect information about Besigye and it becomes a subject of government communication at a press conference. Baryomunsi.
Yes. Well,
do I have to be a medical doctor to have discipline?
It's good you are not.
Well,
I mean,
thank
if
you.
are not.
If medical doctors are like you, and maybe...
And you will never
Council
be.
Katana, if you could share with us
You will
your
never be.
sense
Do
of
I have
things.
to be a medical doctor?
Well, gentlemen,
Since you are not.
I don't have to be a
gentlemen,
medical
Issues
doctor.
of doctors.
I'm now
But the way
moving
you
the mic.
were conducting
Okay.
yourself, You cannot treat
Honorable
me.
Semuju.
No.
Honorable Semuju.
I don't
It's
have
now
to-
Katana
there are many other
speaking.
Even if you prescribe medicine, I will not
There are
take.
quite a number of things
Baryomunsi.
trending.
The way you are behaving.
Don't be
The
emotional.
disappearance of your principal has since turned out to be interpreted as comedy by government, by the state. How serious is it? And if you could just juxtapose this with the basic situation, with a lot of other things happening in the aftermath of elections.
The starting point is that we are really dealing with an establishment that has lost a sense of shame. Because if you start from the comments by Dr. Chris here, that clearly manifests lack of common decency. Because regardless of the capacity in which he received that information, whether he received it as a doctor or as a minister, it is still abuse of privilege because he received that information on account of his privileged position. And it is inappropriate for anybody to be in public discussing the health details of an individual. In any case, the debate was not about what Dr. Besigye is suffering from, but whether he was well or unwell. And for us who are not medical doctors, to establish that a person is unwell, first of all, is the interaction you have had with the person. But two, the physical state of the person. And I want to believe that the comments of the family were in that context, that they observed and listened to him. And that informed the opinion they gave to the public about his health.
Or they were sending false alarms that...
Is there anybody who would want to portray their family members as critical ill when they are not? I wouldn't think so. But also the circumstances under which Dr. Besigye ends up where he is. And you asked that I also try to establish nexus between that and the current state in which our leader finds himself. The siege at his home, which Dr. Besigye also endured several times, the disappearance, enforced disappearance of our leaders, the deputy presidents, the events at the home of Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi and where he finds himself now, and the number of young people on the run, in detention, they all speak to an establishment that now has chosen to use violence, to use propaganda. I always tease Dr. Chris whenever I meet him on these talk shows that the ministry he occupies, the proper designation should be Minister for Propaganda like it was back in the day.
Like Amini said,
yeah. That is, because the government has lost legitimacy. Even if it awards itself 80% or 90%, it will still feel guilty. You know, these thieves, when they attack your home, even when you have no plans of fighting back, they must make sure that they leave you incapacitated to fight. They just want to take your phone. Instead of demanding for a phone, they hit you with a paver. Because they must make sure that you are not in position to fight back. So all these factors, they continue, the manner in which Dr. Besigye was abducted, the continued incarceration, and the manner in which his case is being handled, the harassment of the NUP leaders and other opposition leaders, not necessarily NUP, they all speak to an establishment that has lost legitimacy and now is relying largely on violence to make sure that the population is under fear and unable.
Says they are not looking for Bobby Wine.
You see, Simon, when you run mad, you don't need to go to a market square and announce that you have run mad, but people will tell from how you are conducting yourself. Because if you have placed his house under siege for now I don't know how many days, you break into his house and assault his wife. You have the Chief of Defense Forces on his X handle saying, I'm going to kill this person. So for more junior people to come out, and I've used the word deliberately, in the de facto setup of the NRM government, he's the de facto maybe number 3 now. So all these ministers, their reassurances, as long as they do not align with what he has said, or I don't think they amount to anything. So his actions are motivated by well-founded fear that he's under pursuit, and the conduct of the state clearly establishes that indeed he's under pursuit. That's why they have been giving ultimatum.
Making it a cat and mouse
they have been making
game.
ultimatum that in the next 48 hours, in the next 72. So if they are not pursuing him, why are they giving ultimatum? You have been seeing on X, they are saying if he doesn't show up within this time, the army will be asked to bring him in, dead or alive. So is that language that is used in reference to a person who is not being looked for?
Is Bobi Wine playing smarter than the state in telling where he's going, where he's been, taking photos, doing videos?
I don't think it is a competition of who is playing smarter and who is not.
Cat and mouse.
I think that is far from the point. The point is that he's under threat. His life is in danger, just like the lives of many other people are in danger. And therefore, legitimately, he has reasons to take measures to ensure that he's not hurt, that he's not like he has mentioned, strategically he says, at the time of my choosing, I will show up.
Thank you. Before I get to you, Honorable Otto, Honorable Baryomunsi, the state denies that you are not looking for Bobi Wine. The CDF says he wants him. Whose word should be taken? And there was a raid. Can you explain the raid at Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi's residence?
It's all politics. The raid, I have not got a detailed debriefing, but I have also followed the narrative on social media, especially the explanations by the Honorable Kyagulanyi's wife about how many 40 to 50 soldiers invaded her house, how she was assaulted, and so forth and so forth. And well, I don't have details, but I have condemned what she described if authority happened, because it is unjustified, it's uncalled for. Being a wife of Honorable Kyagulanyi is not a crime. So, and internally we shall find out if at all there are soldiers who breached the rules. They should be handled. But again, from my explanation, I was not very much convinced that the extent she was giving is what actually happened. Like she said, they pulled me, hit me on a pole, I got injured. With my medical eyes, I could not appreciate the injuries.
It's exaggerated.
Yes, there is a sense of exaggeration. That's my own assessment. But it would be wrong for soldiers to go and assault her for what? Even if they are doing a search.
Okay.
They
broke into Kyagulanyi's house, right?
Well, I cannot confirm because there is a
speak for government.
There is a sense of politicking and a sense of exaggeration. No. And a sense of exaggeration in my view. So there is a sense of politicking and a sense of exaggeration. No. I will come. So to that extent, I don't condone assault and attack on Kyagulanyi's wife or any other Ugandan. And I'm saying if there is any soldier who breached the rules, internally we shall handle them.
Is Kyagulanyi a wanted man?
No. I don't know, for the umpteenth time I have stated this, that the state is not hunting for Kyagulanyi. He, on his own volition...
So Muhoozi is not part of the state?
Oh, Muhoozi, I have...
Because he said in 48 hours you must surrender, I will come for you.
He has since deleted those tweets.
Can I, man. How can a man who doesn't know whether the house was broken into or not know who is wanted and who is not?
I know, and I'm telling you.
What do you know and what don't you know?
He knows
I'm telling you
nothing.
that the Honorable Kyagulanyi is not a wanted man. He's as free as a bird in the air. He chose on his own volition to hide. I think that one makes politics for him. And like I said, when he's done with hiding, he will come.
So why is his home under siege?
I will come to that.
You see,
I will come to that. So,
I want to get to Honorable Tony.
yes, but I am answering your questions. Don't be anxious. So I am saying on behalf of the government of Uganda that Kyagulanyi is not a wanted man. And he's free to come.
But his home is besieged.
Now, today I explained in the parliament that the Honorable Kyagulanyi's home is of security interest given the prevailing post-election environment. And the light deployment there is not meant to chase him away, is not meant to harm him, it's just monitoring to do some access control.
Can you sound serious? Light deployment.
Light deployment. And the terminology I used in the parliament today is that we do not want Kyagulanyi's residence to be used as a public disorder hub, because there is a lot of intelligence information, most of which we don't share, and it is also in the interest of the country. Let me give you an example. Supposing there was no deployment and somebody goes and burns Kyagulanyi's house, what would happen? What would happen?
You see,
Honorable,
just 1 second.
So nobody should be scared.
Court orders bring here the Kenyans that you have arrested. They say we don't have them. Later, Museveni says they were in a fridge. They abducted Sam Mugumya from Mbarara. Court said bring him. They said we don't have him. We've been told by those who have been released from those hideouts that actually they sneaked him to a facility because he's also very sick. Baryomunsi, you will suffer with the credibility of a government that lies. You said you don't have Kenyans, even against a court order that bring them here. Then later they are released and Museveni said they were in a fridge. So are you part of those who put people in the fridge?
Honorable Odonga, I'm coming to you now. What's your take on everything unfolding? The Besigye situation seems to be making a lot of headline. Bobby Wine's disappearance, and of course, questions around elections.
I thank you again for this opportunity. I personally think President Museveni should be helped by my good friend, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, to exercise magnanimity. Because the final whistle has been blown. The Electoral Commission has stated President Museveni got 71% of the votes. Of course, we have 55% voter turnout. This is the lowest voter turnout in Ugandan history. We started in 72% in 1960. I have the statistics here. Let me just read it. It should be of interest. In 1962 independence elections, we had a voter turnout of 71%. In 1980, we had a voter turnout of 85%. Now, from 1996, when I voted for Semuju, the voter turnout was at 72%. 2001, voter turnout is 70.3%. 2006, 69%. 2011, the voter turnout is 59%. 2016, again, the voter turnout went up to 67%. 2021, the voter turnout was 59.4%. Now, in the last election, the voter turnout is 52%, which means out of the 21.6 million Ugandans who registered to vote, only 10 million voted. 10 million opted not to vote. So much as we say President Museveni has got 71% of the votes, it is 71% of the 52% of the people who opted to vote. So all the same, is still a winner. So my appeal, why I opted to come to studio today, is to appeal to the powers that be, that the final my appeal, why I opted to come to studio today, is to appeal to the powers that be, that the final
politics because it gives him coverage, like we are discussing here, his disappearance. But
You also
there is
disappear
no,
and we discuss you.
But there is no
If you think
no
this is
crisis
important.
in Uganda.
Honorable Semuju, as we take a break, as we take a very
Okay,
short
I will
break.
respond to what.
Yes, as we
later.
take a break. What is your reading of the situation after elections? Is the country tense or the dust has settled and people are back to work?
After 2006, I think, 2001, Mr. Museveni sent a delegation to meet the late Honorable Sam Kaleganjuba after elections. And Njuba, who was now heading the former agenda after Besigye had gone to exile, he suggested that if you want us to talk, we need to involve many other people, political parties, civil society. At that time, I have a sense that Museveni cared about the country, that he would want a country to heal, because these elections are intense. You need a country to heal. People you have arrested, people you have brutalized. If you still care about the country, it is in the interest of the state to begin a healing process. I may not prescribe it in the terms of the Honorable Odonga Otto, but you need a healing process. There are people you have beaten, people whose children you have killed. Your son, who heads the army, is on social media celebrating, I have killed 20 terrorists. Bob Wine will be the 23rd. There are people whose victories you have stolen. They are crying. Anyone who's sensible and cares about the country will need to have a healing process. And if I have understood Odonga Otto, that's what he is proposing. The tendency by people who are in the government, I saw Martha Karua after Kibaki had stolen the election. They were telling her, he said, so you win and you are sharing power? Sharing with who? They begin feeling sweet. Baryomunsi, I think, now thinks they live in heaven. They are no longer living on earth. So he looks at all of you from the mirror of his vehicle. He's wondering what you are doing. No crisis for us. We are okay. We are satisfied. Museveni had even lost an election in Mbarara. He caused this country problems. His war between him and Obote, they killed more than 500,000 people. Anyone running a state, you need to make sure that everybody in the country, as much as you can, is satisfied, is okay, is happy. And it doesn't matter. This is not a matter of percentages. That for us, 71% we are happy, so the rest of you can go and hang. Only arrogant people can say that. If you're not arrogant...
71 is significant.
I have told you, after 2001 elections, Museveni sent people to go and meet in Juba. And the discussion started. After 2016, it is not Museveni, I have said this 100 times. You had the elders, you had the situation room, you had the inter-religious council. They came to Kasanga to went to meet Museveni, because the stability of the country is a collective good. You don't leave it to Baryomunsi, who is actually celebrating. He earns his job by saying the things he's saying. I don't think he cares anymore.
Well, we'll take a very short break, and when we return, definitely we'll be speaking to our panelists and guests about their expectations on how politics will be playing out in the aftermath of elections. We'll be back.
NBS Frontline. For years, they have studied, they have trained, they have persevered. Now, the moment of honor has come. Finn's Medical University is proud to announce its 5th graduation ceremony. We cordially invite our graduating class of 2025, their esteemed parents and guardians, and the general public to join us in this celebration of academic professional dedication. The The ceremony will be held on Friday, the 27th February 2026, at the Finns Medical University campus in Fort Portal. Proceedings commence at 9 a.m. Finns Medical University, a chartered medical university in East Africa.
Energy for winners.
Are you planning an event or wedding? Join us at Nikan Resort Hotel, Uganda. Relaxing accommodation rooms, well-equipped conference halls and boardrooms. Don't miss this fantastic opportunity to experience the best of hospitality and sufficient space. We're located in Seguku Katale, along Entebbe Kampala Road, channeling easy access to Kampala City and the airport. For reservations and inquiries, contact using the information on your screen or visit our website www.nikanresort.com.
So, Njala,
Yes, Daddy.
you know the children are going back to school and things are a bit tight. For now, why don't you take half of the fees to junior school, and for the school van contribution, we shall pay later.
Daddy, why don't we pay using MTN Momo, where we stand a chance of winning school fees for a whole year and more? By the way, you can also apply for a school fees loan, and also participating schools can win a school van.
That's right! Win school fees for a whole year and more. Get more goodies and a school van for participating schools. You can also apply for a school fees loan. Simply dial *165*80# or use the Momo app.
Want to stream your favorite content without limits on Afro Mobile? Here's how to get started with the MTN Afro Mobile bundles. Open the Afro Mobile app on your phone. If you don't have it yet, download it from the Play Store or App Store. Tap your profile and scroll to purchase. Choose the bundle that works for you for 4K weekly or 10K monthly. Confirm your selection and complete payment directly through the app using your Momo Pay. Receive your confirmation and streaminga non-stop. That's it. No codes, no hassle. Just tap, subscribe, and start streaming. Streaminga non-stop, only with Afro Mobile and MTN.
Frontline.
Welcome back. It's the Frontline as we make sense of post-election and the big issues that the country has to contend with. Council Katana, how much are you putting up with as the national interplatform in the wake of the arrests, the lost election, the diminishing numbers of MPs, and a lot of other issues? Have you even sat down to take stock of what happened?
Of course, when you are dealing with an entrenched authoritarian system, one of the key things you need is resilience. Because all the injustices visited upon you are intended to break your spirit, to distract you, and to ensure that you're not able to progress. So while we face all this tyranny, our responsibility and duty is not to allow to be derailed. As to whether we have been able to take stock, it's a process. We believe from where we stand that the process, of course, it is only an indecent person that would be bragging about the 71 or 90% without bearing in mind the process.
Do you concede defeat?
Of course we don't. We have been on record that we don't, because we have raised objection as to the processes that led to the declaration. In fact, even when we have done comparisons from a number of places, the results that were declared by the chairperson of the Electoral Commission and his commissioners do not tally with what was obtained at a number of polling stations across the country. But that is besides the point. The point is that...
what was your candidate's tally, for starters? I know you were at the tally center.
The one that the Electoral Commission announced?
No. Contrary to what the Electoral Commission...
No, I don't want to preempt. That is an announcement that will be made by the right person, not me.
So was Kyagulanyi's election rigged?
Certainly.
What was his margin?
No, that is a simplistic way of approaching this. Rigging is not about just figures. But I have told you that, of course, for us, we are not a reactionary group that you come and say, now for us, we have 20 or 30. There's a process. We are auditing, and at the right time, the party will speak to the nation. I'm sure you have noticed that we have not even had a press conference as a party. So at an appropriate time, we will do that. And not even your prompting will make me... Yes. Yeah, and there's an explanation.
The level of organization.
There's an explanation, but I don't want to be distracted by that. Across the country, most of our agents were being picked. Even the coordinators who were taking them letters and resources were being arrested. But that is, I believe, a story for another day. The authoritarian regimes allocate themselves big percentages. Hosni Mubarak, I think, would make this one look like a poor score, and several others. But as long as these figures are a result of a process that has been messed up and are not a reflection of an accurate picture of what transpired at polling stations, the figures don't mean much. You can go and even swear yourself in and brag that you have got 90%.
Would there be a possibility that Kyagulanyi won?
Yes.
By what percentage?
But I've already answered that question, that at an appropriate time, the figures will be given to you. If you only want me to say figures or no figures, you can tell me to keep quiet, but I've given you an answer.
They are still counting.
That at an appropriate time, the person that is supposed to do that will make the...
You were at the tally. You were at the tally center.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And you very well addressed to whatever happened.
Was there counting at the tally center?
Did you have a parallel?
Was there counting at the tally center?
Did you have a parallel tally center?
So, if you are not versed with what transpires at the tally center, then I can share with you the information. That at the tally center, what the Electoral Commission through Byabakama was doing is announced. But because, first of all, there is even no opportunity for different candidates at that particular time and their agents. In fact, we even raised the question that what is the essence of having this occasion of inviting people to come here for just a ceremony, because there should be an opportunity for people to say that in this place, this was our score, like it happens at the district tally centers. but there's no such an opportunity. They don't speak to anybody. They come and announce what they have announced, and they walk away.
So for now, what do your tallies reveal?
We will inform the country.
What is taking you forever? It's been a week.
You are not aware that at the beginning of this discussion, Simon, you have mentioned that our leader is on the run. You have mentioned that our deputy presidents are on the run. We have mentioned that our various leaders, including people that do that, perform that responsibility, are in jail. So when we are able to make the announcement, we'll be able to do so.
So does this suggest that the party currently is in a stalemate? The leadership is in disarray?
Maybe that is... the leadership is... people are on the run. Others are in jail. Others every day live under fear that they are going to be picked because they receive tip-offs from different people that you're the next person to be arrested. But I can tell you that the party is not in a disarray.
Saying it is only the Banyankoles inside Noob who are not picked.
Well, but...
No, I think that's below the belt.
No, there's someone was tweeting.
Yeah, but... No. The deputy president for Western region is missing.
She's hiding.
They were picked. There's a video of a drone and soldiers picking her. The coordinator for Ankole is in detention. So while many times I don't want to respond to certain things, but...
Yeah, I think that goes down as tribal.
No, but I'm sure he said it in
jest.
In jest.
No, he's quoting what he writing.
Whoever wrote it in
okay,
in
does
jest.
this spell tough times for the National Unity Platform, as used as seven stats?
Not for National Unity Platform, but tough times for Uganda. The other day, the Honorable Odonga is not from NUP, but I saw him complaining about injustices at the 30th of his district. I have seen, when I was coming here earlier, I watched a video of people in Ntungamo complaining about fraud in their elections that led to the returning of the LC5 chairman. There are complaints from across the country. So for anybody to try to look at the crisis occasioned by voter fraud, by election fraud in the country as a noob matter, I think that person is missing the point. It is a matter that should concern all the people of Uganda, regardless of which political party they subscribe to. Even in addition to that, the violence that characterized the process, especially on polling day and the days leading to the polling day and the aftermath, the Chief of Defense Forces has come out and said 22 people have been killed, but we know from various sources that the people who have been killed in this process are more than 22 in Kayunga, in Butambara, in various parts of the country. So for anybody to come here and think that these are matters of NUP, I think it is a very, I don't want to use a very rude word, but I think it is a simplistic way of appreciating the situation. I think what is important is that as a nation, we need to come to a point where we have a discussion that can we have elections that will not lead to death of people? Can we have elections whose results will reflect the will of the people? Can we have, because elections should not
fall
be...
into his suggestion for national dialogue?
Well, that is his proposal.
Has not gotten to that level where it's time to talk?
No, we have not had that discussion as a party. But what I agree with him is that the politics of our country needs to be restructured. It needs to be restructured, that even people who whether people are in government at that particular time, because even the crisis here will not be in government forever, that even people who are outside the government, they are able to engage in this process, knowing that this is a constitutional process that we're engaging in, and by doing so, we are not committing a crime. We can choose to support a person of our choice. If he wins, well and good. If he doesn't, we shall rally behind the one who has won, but provided the process has been fair, has been just, and it's not just a matter of ticking the box that we have had elections, and then we forget about the people who have died, we forget about the money which has been wasted, we forget about the people who have been detained for committing no crime. I don't think all that has characterized our elections adds much in making Uganda a better country.
Thank you. Honorable Chris Baryomunsi, what has become typical of election are murders, brutality of the state, money and everything. Could this be one election where maybe the government ought to sit back and do some soul searching about the cohesion of the country, like Odonga comes out to say, maybe it's time now to talk?
Well, you are quick to blame the NRM, the government side, but I think it is important to audit all the political actors. When we went to multi-party, and with the emergence of Dr. Kizza Besigye forming initially Reform Agenda, then FDC, we saw a creation of a radicalized wing of politics. Radicalism, extremism, belligerence, defiance, a disloyal opposition with a message of hatred, an anti-Museveni agenda, and that Museveni must go, rather than focusing on ideological principles that define what the political parties want to articulate. Because if you ask, what has FDC been standing for? What does NUP stand for? It is, summary is, Museveni must go. Not, we want to reform healthcare, education, governance, wealth creation. No. It is that belligerent extremist.
Is it what now informs government's high-handed?
Just hold on. So I think there may be weaknesses, yes, on our side, which we must internally also reform. But I think the radical wing of our politics must also tone it down. And that's why Ugandans, majority, have rejected that approach. That's why even the parties like FDC have collapsed, because when they are moderate forces, the Semuju say, no, we must be radicalized, and they chase Mujisha Muntu because he's moderate. They remain with FDC. The moderates, the Nandaras are chased, they say you are Moors. They form BFF, and you can see the party has collapsed on its own weight. The same NUP does not learn from that. It forms the party, people power, you start beating people who are putting on yellow and so forth without articulating your vision, so that Ugandans can choose between what has NRM marketed to us, what is this party marketing to us. So that radicalism will not work. And of course, Newton's law says to every action, there will be an equal and opposite reaction. Now, if you are a party and for you are proposing violence, you will definitely be 100. It is a fire which is used to handle fire. Now, when people
you're justifying violence, right?
Hold on. In 2018...
No. Are you justifying state violence?
Just wait. Let me justify by explaining. In 2018, when the Katanas wanted to ban Kampala by beating whoever is putting on yellow, by unaddressing women who are putting on innocent yellow blouses on the streets of Kampala, all of us were here. Did you want the army and security forces to put a red carpet for people, power goons who are beating people? They had to come in to quell that kind of violence. So I think it takes two to tango. We should all tone it down and say we want a better Uganda. We may be using different approaches to reach there, but we can sit and tone. Now, two.
What would it take for government to extend an olive branch in the name of national peace and cohesion?
Before I answer that, I thought to make a comment that when I was arrested, as Semuju said, somebody rang me from Parliament and said they are going to arrest you. Please go into hiding. That time in 2012, I said, okay, I will go where I'm going, let them arrest me. And they arrested me. So for Chaguranyi, even if somebody had said, I want to kill you, if I was him, me, Baryomunsi, I would say, come and kill me. And you come and kill. Oh, if CDF said, I want to arrest you, he said, you come and arrest me. But to go into hiding, for us, Bachiga, it's a sign of cowardice. You cannot tell your voters, we demand our vote, then you go and hide. And you want my children to go on the street to confront security when you have hidden your own children. Where are Chaguranyi's children? Why are they not rallying our children to go and demand the vote. You hide them, you go in the bush. No, you hide your children. You hide your children. You hide your children. Then you say our children should go and demand the vote. That is cowardice, and I don't think it gives him a score. Now, NRM is the most tolerant organization we can have, or we have had. President Yoweri Museveni, some of us who work with him, he has a very large magnanimous heart. He's a person who doesn't believe in pursuing and killing those who do not agree with him. Actually, his approach, he extends a hand until when he persuades you to work with him. Now, you look at the history. Every time we come out of elections, the time I think it was 2011 or 2006, when he emerged the winner and said, all the presidential candidates who participated, let's meet over a cup of tea and discuss. Others went, it is Dr. Besigye who refused. Said, how can you invite me for a cup of tea? I mean, if a candidate has said, let's sit, what is the issue? We are all leaders, we want to lead the country.
In a disputed election.
Yes, but if you're talking of reconciliation, everybody must tone down. Of course, there are tensions and anxieties after elections. But if you mean well for a country, even if you have been my opponent, when I meet my opponent in the Kanunga elections, I can't slap him. We take a cup
you have
of
no
tea.
capacity, otherwise.
No. So, the president has been on record, for instance, going to IPOD. IPOD is a forum which brings together political parties that are represented in parliament. It is these radicalized wings of opposition that have refused to come there when the president is there. The president has never refused. Even the proposal by Honorable Odonga, I have no problem with it. And I think and believe President Museveni can forgive Besigye if there are efforts. And you have challenged me to tell the president in the cabinet. I may not raise the cabinet, but I will speak to him over the issue. But you see, it will take also...
So it takes pleading for
No, first of all...
So it is Museveni now to release Besigye?
No. By the way, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't even think the president has powers to sign an order to release a prisoner on remand. It will require the state just dropping the charges, but that can be worked out. But you see, to also take Dr. Besigye to tone it down so that there is a meeting of hearts. If you want us to take that effort, we can. I can tell you, when I met the president, I went and met Dr. Besigye, and the opposition was right to say, why did you go there? Why? But this is a brother, politics aside. I came, I discussed with the road mayor, if you want me to say, and we were trying to start an effort how to resolve this issue. We agreed to meet with the senior leaders of the party. The day we were supposed to meet in Dr. Besigye's home, I can say that, it is the PFF people, including Winnie Byanyima, who said, no, we don't want anybody to intervene in this. So some of us have taken effort. We don't say it in public, but...
You're literally agreeing that Besigye's current situation is political?
No. There are charges against him. The state insists it has credible and incontrovertible evidence against him. And we have been saying, bring it in the court, we hear.
Honorable Semuju,
let me conclude my point. I'm saying there are charges, serious ones, against Dr. Besigye. But what the Honorable Odonga is saying, yes, they can be there, but can't we initiate a process of saying, yes, they may be there, but can't these be resolved? And I'm saying, personally, I have no problem with him. We can start a process and get the president, and I'm sure the president would
Honorable
be
Semuju, you've had Chris suggesting that the state is always willing and magnanimous. They would extend an olive branch to have Besigye free and to resolve the current political impasse.
The state was captured. That's why in all this, he doesn't say I met the Attorney General. I met the president. Professor Ansibami called the presidentialism. So this whole thing is about... I thought the principal legal advisor of government is the Attorney General. That the discussion will start from there. Baryomunsi contradicts himself. He says this matter Even the president cannot. Now I met the president. Now I was going to SJ's home, just skirting around the issue. You see, where we are, and I sympathize with people like Baryomunsi. Today, SJ is a victim. Tomorrow, I don't know who will be the victim. Maybe it will be you, Baryomunsi.
I will handle it when I reach there. Don't worry. For us, we are products of struggles. So.
Because you see, the unresolved issue here today, you have a man who does not want to compete against him. Or you must compete against him on his own terms. Today is USJ, tomorrow is Bobi Wine. Someone else will face the same problems. And the trouble now, we were dealing with one individual. Now we are dealing with his son. The brother is operating silently in the north. You don't need the state. You don't need Baryomunsi. You don't need anyone. These fellows who have arrested Besigye, Museveni and his son, are the ones who will resolve all these problems you are going through. And that's why you've not seen any government person speaking as reckless as Museveni's son. I have killed 20 terrorists. His father said one of the reasons he went to fight was to stop extrajudicial killings. And the son is celebrating, I have killed 22, Kyagulanyi will be the 23rd. That's where we are. And that matter can be temporary. Even Gaddafi, who wanted to spray people as cockroaches, he said, I am coming to Bengal to spray as cockroaches. The cockroaches eventually took him. We may be powerless, Museveni magnanimous, as if he's doing anyone a favor. Chris Baryomunsi, this Uganda does not belong to Museveni and his family, that everybody must go on his knees, like he was one time told the parliament, if you want to meet me, you must come crawling. I think that's what they want to see, that everybody is on his knees, the clans and the clan leaders and the Bachiga headed by Baryomunsi must go, okay, now I forgive him. Now the matters must be discontinued. We simply can't run Uganda like that. It is him. It is okay, he will stay there. Besigye is not like, he is not a coward. He was in the world for 4 years. He abandoned the company.
Where have I? Where? No, I was in secondary school.
Secondary school.
Even the younger children joined.
When the NRM came, I was in senior 3.
Of your age,
10 years. Yes.
Even younger than you.
No, not everybody had to go to
anyway,
we contributed different.
Besigye is not a coward.
Neither,
and I think if you want
neither am I.
And I think if you want him to die, he's one person who will accept to die from Ruzira. And then
all of us will die. There's no immortal.
But this olive branch is irresistible. The condition is let him turn down.
Turn down on what? Turn down on what? What
Ask Baryomunsi.
Besigye went to attend the book launch and is kidnapped.
But many others too. There are things we don't say on TV. But they are very strong crimes that is accused of. Very strong and very grave.
Is that the first time?
Very grave.
Is that the first time?
And being an opposition leader does not make you immune to prosecution. And for us, the point has been, let the courts expedite the process. Let that evidence be laid out so that we see whether prosecution has strong evidence or not. Why are you not in Ruzira? Because they are not suspected of anything.
You mean every Ugandan should be in Ruzira?
No, if there are accusations against you. He's accused of plans to kill President Yoweri Museveni.
So
that is something very simple.
Museveni thinks when you compete for power,
no,
you want to kill him.
That is very simple.
So when
is it the West General who is competing against Museveni? And the other candidates who have stood against him? Who was basically standing for the first time since 2001 has been standing. Why had they never arrested him?
Is there a year
Actually, he has ever been arrested
for
treason previously.
Yes.
And it corrupts because it was also...
No, what you should pray for is challenges.
I want to move on to Honorable Dongoto, but Honorable Semuju, as I shift, we're looking at the opposition 2026 to 2031, more fractured than ever. the big shots in the
very
opposition
peaceful.
have been crushed by the opposition, ironically. Can you put up a front to drive a common agenda anymore?
The opposition is not the leaders. You are making a mistake.
Yeah.
The leaders will keep changing. This one you see here being propaganda. Don't be surprised to wake up and Baryomunsi is the one in the Ruzira like Kivesi. Who knew that Imbabazi would be fighting with Museveni? So
Ruzira was built for individuals.
The opposition.
So they think me, I will be there.
The opposition is the population.
Don't scare me.
All of us can provide leadership at some stage. And I'm not saying that us quarreling and elbowing each other is healthy. It isn't. When you are fighting a dictatorship as entrenched as this one, you will need to work together. But even if it doesn't happen, I keep telling people...
So why did Nupo remove you when you were a good opposition leader?
But you are fighting with Mbabas, were you not in NRM?
No, I've never stood with him. He had his own constituency, I had mine.
But you are fighting every day.
No.
Didn't NRM arrest you?
Even now, he has been contesting with an NRM person who was even a chairman of the district.
No, I defeated him in the primaries. I defeated him as an independent.
Yes.
You see,
those are internal competitions.
It is healthy to work together, but even if it fails, you all can make a contribution. When Museveni was fighting, Moses Ali had a rebel group, Kaira had one, Nkwanga had. Because human beings are human beings. You may agree, you may disagree. The desirable thing is for all of us to work together, but it may not happen. That's why we have different political parties. If working together was very easy, we would be under one umbrella. In Kenya, it works. In Uganda, it doesn't work. Because as we fight to remove Museveni, we're also fighting for these positions. And they can be destructive. I know one of the things that has been troubling university all the time. Even in Muntu, one time he said the trouble is that office seeking becomes the main agenda of all of you. And therefore it becomes a problem to focus on the bigger struggle, because all of you are focused on office seeking. This particular election, you need to ask yourself legitimate questions. Assuming we had been one umbrella, maybe violence would even have multiplied, because that's a possibility that you can agree, you have one umbrella, and then Museveni will multiply violence. Because the idea is to break you down.
Well,
whether you are one, whether you are united or not.
Honorable Dongoto, 2026 to 2031, what kind of opposition now is obtaining after the crashing of the big stalwarts?
Maybe even before attempting to answer that question, one thing which you should invite the Electoral Commission here to talk about is about the seals. Because over 25 vote recount has failed, because you just give some policeman 1 million to break 2 seals. So we may, instead of investing in the BVM machines, we may have to invest in electronic seals, which is like a padlock, where each party can page in a code. Because, for example, I have allegedly that I lost by 26 votes. And when we asked for the recount, 5 boxes were torn. So we are wasting the time of the judiciary, the same in Tororo, the same in Butambala. So that discussion should begin. Now, going to where you are. Yeah, yes. And
they are working.
Because there is a court of appeal ruling that once
worked for lower elections.
They worked for lower elections.
Actually, there's a court of appeal ruling that once the boxes have been opened, the recount must stop. And we gave powers to the magistrates' court to recount. So they cannot undo a decision of a higher court. So this application for recount is a waste of time, because someone just breaks one seal and they walk out celebrating that they have won. But getting to your question, for me,
the state of the opposition.
Yes. What bothers me is not the state of the opposition. We have been decimated. We have lost big shots. What bothers me is not the collapse of democracy. What bothers me is the involvement of the military in our democracy. Because no one is born. I want you to show me where Semuju was born, and when they were cutting his umbilical cord, they said you should be opposition forever. It's not like a dress, like the color of, like the clothes of a hen. A hen, if it is white for the whole of his life until it is slaughtered. So I don't want to be addressed like it is our thing, Semuju, Mayor. We can also join the movement. Yeah, we are not condemned to be on one side. We can also wake up tomorrow and join NUP. We can also wake up and join PLU, anything. So this discussion of us versus them is not very healthy for this country. So in this next parliament, the opposition has been totally decimated. We have close to 70% transactional politicians, those who have come for the job because they think there is money. So there will be limited checks on the powers that be. So this parliament, in my opinion, will perform very badly because some people came looking for money. Now, the difference between transactional politicians and career politicians is diverse. Let me give you 4 examples of career politicians. I am a career politician. With or without elections, I am in this thing. So President Museveni is a career politician. He's an ideologue. He can pursue an ideology for a lifetime. Mwanga Kivumbi is a career politician. Semuju Ibrahim is a career politician. The Speaker of Parliament is not. No. There are people who are.
I think that's personal.
No.
No, he has
you
given
see,
many
career
examples.
politicians, Semuju. No. What I'm saying, a career politician is
just being a coward.
like Semuju or me. I would pursue one ideology for a lifetime, and I believe in it. Like President Museveni believes, encourage foreign direct investment so that the investors can employ the youth. It is an ideology. You really need to persuade him to abandon that ideology. He lives with it for a lifetime. But these ones of Potea Pata, like Batembe, you know, a hawker, when they are passing, say, oh, how much is this? Have a cup of tea. It's very unlikely that the hawker will decline your offer because he thinks after taking tea, you're going to buy a kitenge. So we are seeing less career politicians in this parliament and more of transactional politicians.
Does it spell doom for the struggle?
So the opposition outside the NRM is decimated. The constructive opposition, in my opinion, which is philosophical, is going to be within NRM. So the safest and wisest thing to do now is to oppose the movement from within, because opposing it from outside is a very risky business.
Are you joining?
No. That's another question for another day. It is wiser to oppose from within, because opposing from outside, these people will cut off your head. The government is armed to teeth. Now you tell me, Simon, tell me one opposition member remaining in that house. You tell me, just mention 3. You're even having difficulties on the first one. Who? Semuju is out, unbelievable. Matias Puga, Mwanga Kivumbi, Segona. Just tell me one, Dr. Chris. Tell me 3 opposition members remaining in that parliament. Just 3 like this.
Senyonyi, the leader of opposition.
Yeah, that is one. Second.
What's wrong with him?
And in a parliament of 570 NRM. So this parliament, in my opinion, is a done deal.
How about the struggle outside parliament?
The struggle outside parliament is a very risky business. I would not advise anyone. Personally, I would even say waiting for 10 years is not much time. Because people die. There is a term limit of God. But to go on the streets that our power, protest votes, in the current circumstances, only a mad person who can do that. They'll kill you. Can you imagine the whole of Mwanga Kivumbi in prison? The other day, Senyonyi was arrested from the airport alongside Rubongoya. If they're arresting the big shots and people are being promoted for arresting them, what about you?
Well,
so I wouldn't advise any person to go on the streets. It's not a very good business.
Well, we're taking a very short break, but Council Katana, is Tukabanji on hold or dead?
Neither of the two.
What is its fate?
It's alive.
We'll be back.
NBS Frontline.
Hey, travelers, are you a Family gearing up for that big vacation, a hustler working abroad coming home, or your squad chasing sunsets and passport stamps? It's time you lock in. Say goodbye to long airport queues, shocking roaming bills, and the stress of hunting for local SIM cards, because now you can travel like a local. Stay connected in over 180 countries. Just scan, tap, and boom. Instant data the moment you reach your destination. Get your Rogue Travel eSIM today at travel.roguetelecom.co.ug. Contact us on 020-500-123.
Across Uganda, the parish development model is paving the way for prosperity, helping families transform their lives through strategic farming practices, like the 4-acre model.
In our Chivaro of 1996, we said first acre, put coffee. Second acre, fruits. The third acre, you put pasture for dairy cows. The fourth acre, for food, cassava. The good thing is that now cassava is also becoming a very good cash product. But at least for food. Then, mind you, the backyard. You put poultry for eggs, you put piggery.
I'm in a 1-acre plot of land. In this 1 acre, Your Excellency, I practice this banana plantation. I also practice coffee. I also have dairy, Your Excellency. Every month, Your Excellency, I get 500,000 from these bunches.
The 7 activities we recommended, they have a big global demand.
We have 10,000 Nile tilapia fish and 10,000 African catfish. And when we sell our 10,000 tilapia, we get in one harvest 20 million shillings.
Fruits, especially capsule, which is cold, can do very high value crops like apples. And then finally, those who are near the wetlands, like the ones in Bukit who are wasting the wetlands, they should do fish farming, not in the center of the swamp, but at the edge of the swamp.
From coffee farms to fish ponds, the 4-acre model is empowering Ugandans to transform their lives. The parish development model is your pathway to wealth creation. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
I see you being channeled, and a lot that is going to happen to you. I'm seeing Mukono. It's going to be around Mukono.
I am building in Mukono.
You're building in Mukono. Okay. There's much more than that building that you're having. There's a business, a boutique, something that is going.
I have a boutique in Mukono.
You have a boutique in Mukono. Okay. Hallelujah.
Watch the power of prophecy with Prophet Elvis Mbonye this Saturday, 6:30 p.m. on NBS TV Uganda.
Breaking now. Now Post delivers Uganda's fastest, accurate news as it happens. From hard-hitting headlines to exclusive interviews, we bring details of stories everyone is talking about. Accurate, fast, and balanced. Get every update at nowpost.co.ug. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and never miss a moment. The Now Post. Accurate news, fast.
Frontline.
Welcome back. It's still the Frontline as we do a forecast on what lies ahead now as the dust settles from the big elections. Well, there was something quite amazing. We saw Honorable Mpuga, Honorable Segona, and Honorable Basalirwa visiting Muwanga Chivumbi. What do you read into that gesture? And doesn't it tell you that perhaps it's time to bury the hatchet and work together with all forces of change?
I think it's a good thing that they went to see him. I also was there yesterday. I would encourage you to go and visit him and offer any support because, first of all, I believe that the Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi has not committed any crime and he's a prisoner of conscience and deserves support from all Ugandans. And it's a very, personally, I think it's a very good thing that they went to check on him. And I listened to the comments and of some of them who said they are going to represent him, which I think is a very good thing.
Couldn't you coalesce around the Mwanga issue for reconciliation of all the forces?
I think with or without the unfortunate situation that the Honorable Mwanga finds himself in, I think it's always a good thing for people to work together. I'm even surprised that there can be a question as to whether it is a good thing for people to work together.
No, I mean, there's no love lost between Noob and Mpuga and Segona, and of course, Honorable Basali. You heard the kind of comments that your principal made about...
competition, and I think the Honorable Semuju mentioned it, that elections sometimes, and I think it's, Dr. Vesey always said that elections sometimes are subversive. They stand in the way of the progress of the struggle. When people are competing, even when they are siblings, they can throw barbs at each other. But that does not mean that they cannot work together. It does not mean that they have become enemies. So that was a season. I don't think any of them considers, I don't think the Honorable Basari considers the people of NUP as enemies. We don't consider him as an enemy. So I don't think there's even any debate around that issue, in my view.
Can you ever work together with Mpuga?
Why not? No, I said, why not?
Honorable Semuju, that gesture of Mpuga, Segona, and Basali checking on a person who was very hostile towards them recently.
See, the trouble with the elections is that many of the things we do, many of us don't believe in them. But they give you an advantage in an election. But also we are working with some of the colleagues for the very first time. But you must also understand, I was in New Zealand, in Maxim. I would call them prefects. They pick from you. Prisoners will compete to be prefect, the katikiro in the prison. They will compete for human beings that are like that. Even to head your fellow inmates, people will fight over it. And that's the fight that we have had. Colleagues within the opposition elbowing you. In my own election, people of Noob were insulting me every day. They even forgot that there was NRM. But because of my experience, I don't begrudge them, because they are seeking to advantage themselves in a competition. When we had our internal elections in FDC, I supported General Muntu. My own colleague said, Semuju, we're Munyarwanda, that's why you are supporting Muntu. Again, because of my experience after that election, I went back to work with them. People who are not experienced, if you subject them to that kind of treatment, you may not recover them. It takes experience to know that in a competition, people can say anything. Not because they believe it, but because they want to advantage themselves. It will take those with that experience. When he was the leader of opposition. So they said, you guys, you must come back. I think it was an ultimatum. And I went and told them, you see, we are still healing. We don't like you. That's why we didn't support you. Give us time to heal. We will come back. So even within the same party, before you speak about other parties, it can be rough. It can be rough. But for me, I said I have gone through this. It bothers me, but I know how to deal with it. The trouble is that there are those who are not used to it. When you insult them, when you abuse them, you will not even greet each other forever. So we have a duty. The time I have seen Katana, he's a decent, good person. I hope he has influence in his party. Because there are people in his party who look at other opposition as enemies, who think their main target is to finish other opposition for them to occupy the space they are occupying. You ease Museveni's work when you are fighting against each other. They will be enjoying. I know the Christians are celebrating. So it will take some leaders within our own groups to have a conversation.
Now that the big opposition giants are out of parliament, do you see a possibility of having a coalition of some kind outside parliament that could actually work to reinforce parliament? Because hitherto, it's been parliament.
What is going to unite us, or some of us, is because there are those who believe that they can overwhelm the conditions. Many of them have seen that it's not easy. I think Rubongo now has a different opinion about elections in Uganda than what he had. I have a mayor in my own area who was in hope. After winning, he had over, I think, about 14,000. The NRM announced one who had 4,000.
The third.
The third, yes.
Actually, here in Kampala Metropolitan, it has been the...
They have done that.
And go to court and have that overturned.
That's what you think. So they have done that in many... They have done that in many areas. So I think there are people in NUP who will know that the popularity of their platform in itself is no longer enough. In this way, you need everybody. There are those who thought that the popularity of the platform is enough to overwhelm the...
So the reality has dawned on them now?
It may not have on the entire institution, but those who have experienced the same thing, you will know that you can actually win an election and you get cheated. That you may need everybody to go and fight. The same way you go to approach a by-election. So when we face the same circumstances and we have tested them, all of us, the same way, I think it might be easier to have a discussion than either in the past or in the present. Because these circumstances that you see...
You seem to look at it as a blessing in disguise. That all of you have been hit, and the reality is now...
I'm not celebrating anyone's setback. I am only saying that if you face the same conditions, you will know that actually, whether you are powerful or not, you are dealing with an entrenched dictatorship. I mean, just imagine someone with 4,000 votes. They multiply them to become 17,000, and is announced.
Is that one? Even me, I told the
Were you the electoral commission? Where
the law provides for mandatory recount. I read him the section of the law. You know what he did? He called the RPC and DPC, who are all Balalo, and consulted them for guidance. And he came and said, I'm not recounting.
So all of them Bararo?
Yes.
We don't have a tribe of Bararo in Uganda.
No, for me, I know what I'm talking about. A returning officer is consulting someone who is...
The experience that we have had, when the Katanas came, they were experiencing this for the first time. And they thought maybe they will overwhelm me. Maybe that's the same mentality that USG had going into elections 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he came to the same conclusion that maybe we need to do it differently. So we've lost a lot of time. Because this Museveni that people think now is grown older, you might be thinking about retirement. The way I see and my little knowledge of Museveni, I think now he has started planning for 2031. He's addicted. He thinks he must die.
I was just telling someone, you'll see him on the ballot if he can still walk.
Of course, if he's alive.
Yeah.
So I think he's addicted. He thinks
we have no problem.
He needs
endorsing him as an RM.
Yes. What do you make of this move by Segona, Puga, and Basali to visit a colleague who hitherto was more of an enemy to them?
No, Honorable Wanga Kivumbi, even me, I might visit him. because he's a colleague in the parliament. You see, at times you think because we are political adversaries in the parliament, we are not individuals, we are not humans. We are not humans. I went to visit the message, I'm not the opposition. No. So they are visiting a colleague.
It wasn't at your own volition.
Yeah.
It
No,
was
it
because
was
of
my-
your office.
No, it was my
This one
own
was
decision.
said by Museveni.
No, it was my own personal decision to visit him, by the way. Now, the opposition is suffering from what we call in medical terms an autoimmune disease, where the body starts eating itself from within. You look at the behavior of opposition in the last 5 years. The major preoccupation by NUP is fighting Mpuga over, to me, a matter which was trivial, which could have been solved internally. Now, Mpuga has lost. Segona, why did Segona lose? Again, the fights within the NUP. Did you think fighting Mpuga and Segona was strengthening the NUP?
Because of the fights within NUP, people lose elections.
Just
so
hold
you
on.
shouldn't.
So the opposition, much as you want to rush to blame President Museveni and what, but you also have internal challenges that have disempowered you not to get stronger. Look at Chagulanyi. What mobilization has he been doing in the last 5 years? Other than going to the Caribbean, outside and so forth, he has not invested adequately in mobilizing Ugandans, in my view.
And he tries to move the police blocks.
So now, if you look at the NUP removing my friend Semuju, now NUP removing Lukwago, that doesn't strengthen the opposition in my view. So I think
But
you have...
Chris, for you in NRM,
Just hold on.
you are repressed by a man who cannot even be invited to such a show.
Just hold on.
So what more
Don't
authority
drag
does
me.
someone from
So
NRM?
I'm now
But you are
discussing
dragging in
opposition.
our leaders. So how
I've
can
already
you say
said
don't
we have
drag
our
me?
own weak challenges in NRM, but I'm now discussing. You take notes. You get a note. Now, sometimes these colleagues of ours come here and posture and appear as if they are pro-Uganda, they are what. I have lived in the parliament.
So we are pro-Rwanda now.
I have lived in the parliament time enough to know what goes on in the politics. I can tell you, for instance, when we were discussing Toji Kwatako, amending the constitution, these are the very opposition people who came and said, tell President Museveni to give us money, we shall allow. When you saw the speaker...
Could you name one of them?
When you saw the speaker suspending members of parliament of the opposition, it was a negotiated arrangement. Members of parliament coming, so you tell the speaker to suspend us so that you pass this issue and we win our parliamentary seats. Just games.
But
So,
do you know that I almost died that day?
It is the problem.
So
of
you
Simon, who
mean,
is
you mean,
allowing
you mean
him.
I agree that the speaker,
Let me talk,
the
let me
speaker
talk.
brings the speaker brings
moderator.
SFC to brutalize me?
let me talk.
You're a very bad man.
No. Semuju, you are among those who approached me to negotiate with Speaker Kadaga. You brought a list of MPs to suspend. That's how you were suspended. The only thing you did,
that you were a criminal.
the only thing we had agreed.
That,
no, wait.
That
The
me,
only
I
thing-
agree with
yes,
you.
you. The only thing you did, not you, now your team, we had agreed. You would move out.
You met Semuju.
This is Semuju. We agreed when they suspend you, you would bow as per the rules and move. The only way you tricked us, when you suspended, you remained. And that's why you attracted security and so forth. Deny. You face there and deny.
That I ever met you during that
Yes.
period.
I was the Minister of State for
you
Housing,
must be a criminal,
holding a
Chris
portfolio
Baryomunsi.
of information.
There's
So
nothing
these
that has
people,
made-
they come
You-
here and
No,
posture. They come here and posture.
I think that's
No,
that's a
they
record.
they come here and posture, masquerade as patriotic, when actually behind the scenes, you do a lot of games.
Semuju, you want to respond to that?
Do I even have to respond?
Okay, you just don't.
I have never met Baryomunsi during that period. We met Kadaga, we sent actually a team in broad daylight. And Kadaga promised that matter will not be handled because we are divided ourselves into two teams. The Honorable Winnie Chiza, the Honorable Kupa, the Honorable Katuntu and others went to reach out to the speaker. This one was not involved at all. The only period he was involved, if he now wants me to tell the public what he told me.
Yes.
Because this one was part of a group who went and agreed with Museveni.
I don't think so. And I think it's Honorable Semuju who mentioned that it's wrong for anybody to reduce opposition to Museveni to members of parliament or members of a political party.
It's true.
The opposition to the dictatorship of Museveni now is wider and bigger than the structured leaders that we are talking about. But number two is at different stages, some people join, some people drop off. When the Semogereres and the rest, Zakarum and the rest, were the ones leading the charge, Mugisha Muntu, Dr. Besigye and the rest were with Museveni. At some point, they dropped off. Some people who are in opposition joined Museveni, the Bet Kamias, Mama Mabira, and the rest. So at different stages, people take decisions to belong anywhere, either out of surrender or out of being convinced that this group is the better one. So I believe at different stages, if people choose on their own volition to move on, they should not discourage those who still think that that's the right path from pursuing it.
As one of the leaders in the leading opposition, do you suppose or do you imagine it's now time to rethink the way you're relating, because there's been animosity over the recent years within the camps? You were not talking with FDC, you were not talking with UPC, DP, and others.
Like I mentioned earlier, the necessity to work together when there's a shared cause should never be even a subject of debate. It is obvious. There's an old saying about two warring soldiers, when they are thrown in the same foxhole, survival depends on putting their differences aside. So it's out of necessity that people must work together. There can be disagreements at different stages, but for as long as there is a common cause that brings them together, the idea of people working together to achieve what they believe is a common cause should never be abandoned.
Honorable Chris, as we sign out, has the opposition gotten to that moment your leader, President Museveni, predicted?
No, we deliberately went multi-party politics in Uganda through a referendum, and we respect the multi-party dispensation we are professing now. For us, we are operating as a political party, NRM, and we have got the mandate of the people to deliver a manifesto for the next 5 years, and we are going to focus on that. But we don't mean bad for the opposition.
Yeah, but are you seeing that opposition that used to give you a run for your money?
Well, it is not our cardinal duty to strengthen the opposition. It's up to them to mobilize. But we support the opposition. For instance, we give money as government to all political parties represented in the parliament. NUP is doing all this mobilization using government resources. If we meant badly, we would curtail that money and suffocate them, but we don't. We want the multi-party growth in Uganda.
But you did. So
no, we want
we have gone through these campaigns.
We want multi-party growth
so
in
you
Uganda.
Can't be saying.
Yes, the reason is why they are weak are self-inflicted, like I said, the autoimmune disease, where they have their own internal weaknesses, which they should be alive to and address.
Well, gentlemen, what a pleasure hosting you tonight.
We thank
Honorable Otto, Council Benjamin Katana, Honorable Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, and Honorable Semuju Ibrahim Nganda. To our viewers, many thanks. Have a lovely night. See